Hello there, everyone. Welcome to our podcast brought to you by CBT. James Hilliard on board, really continuing a series of conversations we've been having with team members at CBT about industrial IoT. My pleasure today to have on board Charlie Stack. He is the chief technologist at CBT. And really, that's where Charlie and team, they focus on bridging the gap between information and operational technology. So we've got about 10 or 15 minutes to spend here with Charlie. And a couple of things that we want to focus on is breaking down this idea of digital twins and how that can help manufacturing operations. We're going to look at kind of the promise of industrial IoT, the impact it's having today, the impact it can have in the future, and really happy to be able to share a little bit of a case study as well with all of you. We're going to be talking a bit later about Texmark Chemicals and their Refinery of the Future project and how CBT was involved with that. So looking forward to covering some ground with you here today, Charlie. Thank you for being here. Let me start with this. And in one of our previous podcasts, we had a chance to talk to Preston Johnson, your senior solutions manager. Gave us pretty much a high level overview of what digital twins are and how they can help out teams. And again, it's that representation, the virtual representation of physical objects or processes out there. I want to focus this on the manufacturing process and operations out there. Why do you think, and what do you see in terms of digital twins and why they're so important to manufacturing processes and ops?
Actually, for two reasons. The first one is when we operationalize a manufacturing process, that means build to scale so that it actually produces something. That is a huge, huge capital investment. You want to make it work and work right the first time out the gate. The days are gone really when we could put something together, make it run, and iron out everything after we started it up. The time is just too precious and money is too precious. And more so, safety. That's the other item. We want our employees to be safe when we build a new manufacturing process. Digital twins give us an opportunity, properly done, to use mathematics and use IT, use compute power in order to build and design a digital simulation, if you will, that totally emulates what the physical plant will be like. And it does it at a fraction of the cost. And not only that, the digital twin continues to build on its value when you make modifications, when you make improvements, when you want to optimize the process. And the digital twin, you can actually see what's going to happen and have the twin tell you whether or not the solution is what you want. And if it is, you can go ahead with it in the real world, or if you can't, then it's not worth the time and effort. So the twin really is an advantage. It gives you a leg up, an ability to predict.
And I know that you had said, hey, that you want to be able to, you can utilize the digital twin so that you can get up and running with something without having to pour all that capital in there and get it right the first time. But isn't there also that idea of failing fast too? And I think you were kind of just alluding to that. You can make some changes. Oh, wait, no, that change isn't going to work, but you didn't do that in the physical environment, right? And you did it in the digital version. So now, oh, no, that's not where we're going to go. We got to revamp that.
That's true. Optimization is a true reality when it comes to the digital twins, not necessarily available to you in the real to-scale model.
The idea of companies leveraging industrial IoT to modernize their business. It's under a bigger umbrella, right? I'll still use the term digital transformation, although maybe we'll shelve that in a year or two and have another catchphrase. But what are you seeing out there in terms of the desire of businesses to really, especially in manufacturing, lean into the industrial IoT revolution and win and benefit from all the advancements we've been seeing recently?
Businesses generally fall into two brackets when it comes to this. It's established businesses that have facilities that are of some age, and other businesses that have facilities which are going to be brand new or greenfield. Yep. So if I have a brownfield or existing process, I want to make it better, and I want to be competitive, and I want to be better than my competition. And the way to do that in a brownfield, companies, owners realize, is to lean into that, as you say, and go with the sequential improvements, looking at attacking things that are my worst enemy, biggest downtime producers, biggest challenge to safety. And if I can conquer those, then through agile steps, take smaller and smaller increases, biting off a bigger and bigger piece of the apple, so that I've completely, at the end of the cycle, optimized my brownfield process. On the greenfield side, it's an opportunity to hit home runs out of the park from day one operations by having proven my methodology, digitally speaking, mathematically speaking, and just be armed with that and factor all those improvements into my first generation process.
So I mentioned Texmark Chemicals. Was this, and CBT helped them optimize their manufacturing operations there? Were they brownfield? Were they a greenfield? Give us an idea what was going on there, and how have they been working towards this new refinery of the future?
Texmark is a collage of 5 processes, the oldest of which is 1967 vintage, the newest of which is 2019 vintage. So it's a mix. For Texmark and the ROTF project, 5 use cases were selected to try and look at various parts of the system, of the process, of the facility, to bring technology to see if we could do things that were grown out of issues identified by operations. So CBT had meetings with the plant staff, and Texmark management allowed the plant staff to say, hey, we have an issue with this, or this is really causing us some headaches, and try to focus the use cases as best we could in those areas. Now, 4 of the 5 use cases are ready to go into production. In other words, to bring them out of the experimental stage and operationalize them. Coincident with that is a leap forward with Texmark, which I really consider the final use case, if you will, and that's the addition of a brand new distributed control system, DCS, as part of the ROTF project. And that will allow us to do complete optimization, complete digital twinning, just really put artificial intelligence into the plant for the future. And within the next 3-4 years, have it to a point where safety is increased several 100%, to where the operators who operate the plant are not just operating a facility, but are watching a state-of-the-art facility that actually learns and self-improves day on day.
Charlie, do you find a lot of the teams you work with, as they are approaching their drivers, are twofold? It's the safety and the kind of the return on the investment. Obviously, we're in business here, so we want to make our profits and we want to do that. But it seems to me that safety has really jumped up to the forefront in a lot of the companies that I talk to, and especially those in the manufacturing space. Is that something that you find out as well, that that's such a lead drive for a lot of these companies these days?
Yes, and not only is safety priority 1, but there's an absolute link between return on investment and safety. If employees are working safer, if they have the tools and the environment to be safer, they in fact are more compliant and more productive. Generally speaking, my experience with clients has been production increases so many-fold once their safety margin is improved and their compliance and margin is improved through the appropriate application of technology.
I appreciate it, Charlie. It definitely interesting times that we're in. I mean, I'd love to be following up with you in those 3 to 4 years and see what Texmark is at right at that point, once all of these projects have rolled on through. So best of luck working with them. Appreciate your time sharing that story, and the whole idea of these digital twins gave us some more insights there. Folks, if you want more information, a couple of things that I want to encourage you to do. First off, I want you to visit the CBT website, and you can do that by heading on over to www.cbtechinc.com. So cbtechinc.com. You can also schedule time to talk to any of the CBT experts there. Again, depending on where you're at in your industrial IoT journey, maybe you're at the very beginning. There is an offering that the team has called the Quick Start. And actually, Charlie, we talked to a couple of your colleagues recently on another podcast. Lonnie and Kendall told us about the Quick Start. And really, it's just an information gathering conversation where you can get an idea working with the CBT team. Where are you right on the journey, and what might be some of your next steps? So if you're interested in the Quick Start, you can send an email, cbtinfo@cbtechinc.com. So cbtinfo@cbtechinc.com to reach out to the team, schedule conversations, and continue your organization forward. Charlie, again, appreciate the time, folks. Thank you for joining us as well. On behalf of the entire CBT team, James here, we do look forward to talking to you all down the road.